council meeting. If you would, please silence your mobile devices. Hey, Donna, Renee, Donna, did you do invitation? No, I got one.
Okay, thank you. Nope. Thank you, Mayor.
Can I start?
You want me to do it? I'll let you hold together.
Please. All right. At this time, the council will call to order the regular the mayor will call the council meeting for June the 3rd of 2025, 6 p.m., City Council Chambers, 201 East Nash Street, Terrell, Texas. Have with us on the dais District 2, Donna Renee Anderson, District 3, Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, District 4, Mayor Pro Tem Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 5, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Phil Robinson. At this time, I would ask that everyone stand for invocation, remain standing for our pledges of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we come to you tonight for the city of Terrell. We come together to serve with a whole heart. Bless our decisions. Give us the mind of Christ to do what is required, to listen and to share. Bless our city. Bless those who are in this room. Protect them, Father, and their families. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Our next item on the agenda is mayor and council community recognition and events. I was at the public library for our summer reading program. There's a lot of events going on, a lot of kids, a lot of adults. Seems like they're having a good time. Becca, great job putting that together. So the mood was festive. All the kids that I asked, they were very pleased that it's summertime. And the parents are not so much, but the kids, yes. So we hope that they have a wonderful time this summer reading and learning. Becca has put together a very robust June and July schedule, not only for our kids, but also for an adults. I noticed there was a chess night for adults. Is that to learn how to play chess, or you need to know how to play chess? Yes.
Good evening. Yes, if you are a beginner, you have never played chess before, or if you are a master chess player, we have a place for you.
Wonderful, good. I need to come learn how to play. Again, if we would, if you're a resident or a non-resident of the city of Terrell, please take advantage of our summer reading program. Also, I met with someone with the TYA First Responder Expo. They're kicking off their summer program as well this Saturday, June the 7th. It's at Ben Gill Park. It'll be from 10 a.m. in the morning until 6 p.m. That's a long day, but they'll be out there. Kaufman County First Responders will be joining them. They'll have a kids zone. They'll have vendors, music, food. Looks like they have a full day for this Saturday if you're able to come out and attend, and the TYA would really appreciate it. Does anybody have any other announcement?
Yes.
Yes.
The 35th, this is a plaque we got from the Run for the Wall 35th annual Run for the Wall. It was presented to the City of Terrell, Texas, in grateful appreciation for the support shown to the Southern Route Run for the Wall 35, 2025, Board of Directors, and the riders of Run for the Wall. And these men and women ride from California to Washington, D.C. This is the southern route that they took. There was another one that rides north. They all met in Washington, D.C., May 25th for Veterans Day. They say they ride for those who can't. So I did thank them for riding for my father.
Oh, wonderful.
So, but we got a plaque
Well, thank you for being
on
there.
our wall. It was
Yes.
fun to see all those motorcycles. If I would have gotten on one, I would not have been here today. I'd still be riding the sunset somewhere. Yes, just
Good.
wanted to say.
Well, thank you for being there. I know
I'd
they,
like to say thanks to city staff, and as you know, we have somebody else on the dais with us tonight, so we're appreciative when we have people that are willing to step up and help us, just so it be known that there were some other scheduling issues with the interim city manager. So I want to thank you, Ms. Becca, your last name? House. Ms. Becca House, for stepping in and taking care of business, and also the other staff.
thank you.
Oh, I have one more
Yes.
thing. I just came back from San Antonio, the National League of Cities Women in Municipal Government, and met other women in government. And it was exciting to hear how cities are run from a woman's perspective and the programs they had for children and young adults, and how partnerships are formed with organizations within our city. And as we move forward through the rest of the year, it would be wonderful to see us expand on what we already do. It was good to share some of the things that we do in Terrell with cities that are bigger and smaller, but we're really interested in what we do. And I appreciated that. Thank you. I will be sending the nuts and bolts of what we did to the rest of the council and staff. And yes, I think that's all.
Well, I also will add on to the library's activities, summer reading kickoff. I'm sure I butchered that. But it's always a really fun event because you get to see all the families and our kiddos' faces. I got tied up right at the end because I could not say no to making a bookmark. And right when I was getting to walk away, they were like, oh, no, we have to add some tie-dye to it. I was like, okay, that works. But it was the kids having fun and walking through activities and with other kiddos, and just the bounce houses, the bubble show, kudos. The TYA table, I stopped by the table too, and it was really interesting to hear how the Terrell Youth Athletes, a nonprofit organization in Terrell that provides opportunities for like softball, like track, football, etc. Their board members identified a need to have the students explore like public safety, which is the event that the mayor was talking about, that is this Saturday starting at 10, like from 10 to 2, I believe. But essentially they're bringing together like 16 police and fire agencies from the area, and they're going to be able to talk to the kids, do career exploration. So I thought that was really neat how our own community members identified the need and took it upon themselves to put something together to recognize those individuals, but then also do career exploration with our kiddos. And hopefully, some of those students will come work for the city of Terrell in the future. The BFTS Museum was also present, and they reminded us that they have on June the 14th a free continental breakfast for veterans from 10 to 30 a.m. at the museum. And at the end of the month, they have a gyrocopter, letting the air do the work, educational program from 10 to 12 at their facility as well. Oh, and I know we have a public hearing, but I also want to mention my appreciation for Judge J.C. Williams, who we're going to talk about today, and having a street renamed after him. And the very last time that him and I really spent like one-on-one time together was after a community meeting. And I was thinking about this as I was reading the agenda. And after the meeting, we were talking, and he mentioned a road, like a block he wanted. He was hoping that we would address. So then I'm like, well, let's just get in the car and drive over. It's a couple of blocks away. It's not in my district, but we can drive that way, and I'll, pass on the information. And so we did that, and shortly after, right behind Southwestern Christian College, that section of the road was addressed. So even on, I'm sure we'll hear remarks earlier or later about him, but I just remember him, even after a meeting on a Sunday, he was still willing to take his extra time to advocate for additional needs in the community.
Cool.
I just want to take every chance I can get to advocate for our downtown. We do have our Market on Moore this Saturday. Let's see, it's June 7th from 10 to 3 p.m. So all of our local businesses and vendors come out and sell their wares. I believe it's between Catherine and Francis Street on Moore. So come out and support those businesses.
All right, thank you.
And Don, when is our next meeting? It'll be before Juneteenth, right? So the
Yes, it's
13th.
June 24th.
After
Let me-
Juneteenth.
let me- let me go ahead and make the announcement then. I had it mixed up in my head. I apologize for being scattered brain. But we want to invite the city and community members to our annual Juneteenth event. It's called Unity in the Community. It's at 351 New Hope Street here in Terrell, Texas. It'll be a 4-day event, the 19th, the 20th, 21st, and the 22nd. We'll have bands, live music. We're having a kickoff on that day. We're going to be having a parade where we'll be walking from W.H. Burnett to the park. So you guys join in. If you know anybody who wants to participate, entrance is free. We just want to have a good time, celebrate our history, and us coming together as a community. Fun, safe, friendly, family environment. We're also going to have some line dancing and some contests. That's going to be fun, boots on the ground, and all that good stuff. So get the family out, get the kids out, and friends, and we look forward to seeing everybody. Thank you.
Good? One more, we're good? Everybody good? All right, thank you. At this time, if there are no objections, the mayor would like to move to, no, wait, where are we? Remarks from visitors. Let's do the remarks from visitors first. Is there anyone here? Nope, okay. At this time, there are no objections. The mayor would like to move suspend the rules and move into executive session. Are there any objections? Hearing none at this time, we will move into executive session in accordance with Section 551 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following. Section 551.071, consultations with attorneys. Section 551.074, personnel matters. Section 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations. We are now in executive session. If you would please.
I'm ready.
All right. We are going to reconvene into a regular city council meeting. Where did I have that? Where are we? And may take action on any items in executive session. Are there any motions?
I move to authorize interim city manager Mark Mills and city secretary Dawn Stile to be designated as authorized signers on the City of Terrell bank accounts at American National Bank.
Is there a second? We have a motion from Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem, District 4, to give Mark Mills and Don Stahl signature authorization for bank accounts at American National Bank. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item on the agenda is 4.1, conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding redesignating West University Street and East University Street between South Park Street and South Adelaide Street as Judge J.C. Williams Drive, NC 25-01. This will be handled by Jana? Okay, go.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So why are you seeing me here to talk about the naming of city streets? Well, I will tell you, I have a good answer for you. Yes, this is in the oversight of Mark Mills. It's been a part of that committee since its conception. And because it is going to cause plating to change the name once you've made your decision, that went through to Planning and Zoning last month for their concurrence. And so I will say this might be the most exciting part of my job for Planning and Zoning and now for you for City Council. So the first one is that we're wanting to change the name of parts of University Street to Judge J.C. Williams Drive. And I have a little bit to read to you, but it's very interesting. And for us locals, which we all are, that have grew up and knew Judge Williams, this is going to trigger either some new memories or some that we didn't even know about him. The Honorable Retired Justice of the Peace of Kaufman County Precinct 3, Judge James Curtis Williams, was born to Castilla Job and Oscar David Williams Sr. on December 31st, 1943 in Terrell, Texas. A proud graduate of Burnett High School in 1962, Judge Williams went on to serve his country as an inborn Air Ranger, military police officer in the United States Army until he was honorably discharged in 1968. Following his military service, he earned his bachelor's degree in accounting from Texas Southern University, where he also met and married his beloved wife, Perea Lee Cooper of Seven Oaks, Texas. After graduation, the couple returned to Terrell, where Judge Williams served as an assistant vice president of the Republican National Bank in Dallas until 1985. In 1986, Judge Williams was elected the first and only African-American justice of the peace for Precinct 3 in Kaufman County, a position he held with honor and integrity until his retirement in 2006. During his tenure, he created and implemented Teen Court in 1995, an innovative restorative justice initiative that allowed students from Terrell High School to act as youth attorneys in traffic court. This groundbreaking program not only gave teens practical experience in the legal system, but also instilled a sense of civic duty and leadership. Judge Williams' life was defined by his unwavering commitment to serving his community. He was instrumental in helping other African Americans in Terrell become involved in politics, which led to the redistricting of local political boundaries to ensure better representation of all communities. He actively supported countless civic efforts through organizations such as the Renaissance Club, Rotary Club, Oak Cliff Masonic Lodge, Chamber of Commerce, Terrell School Board Committee, Breezy Hill Park Restoration Committee, Raise the Roof Project, Meals on Wheels, Progressive Voters League, and Women's Softball League. A man of tradition and compassion, Judge Williams and his family made it a point each Christmas to assemble and distribute fruit baskets to families in need, a gesture of kindness that he left a lasting impact on those who received them. His commitment to service extended beyond the courtroom. In 2023, he was appointed superintendent of the New Oakwood Cemetery Association, where he continued his dedication to community stewardship. Judge Williams was also a longtime and active member of the New Hope Baptist Church, where he served faithfully as a deacon, Sunday school teacher, chairman of the trustee board, and treasurer. Though pastors affectionately referred to him as a bootleg preacher, he was a true shepherd to many, offering spiritual counsel, mentorship, and love throughout the community. Judge James Curtis Williams is remembered not only for his trailblazing achievements, but for his humility, generosity, and determination to create opportunities for others. His life's work continues to inspire all who knew him. Judge Williams passed on February 7th of this year. So, what is the history on this request? Well, the Terrell City Council established a city's facilities naming committee to review, consider, and make recommendations on the naming of city facilities. The Terrell City Council set forth a charge of initial facilities to be considered by the committee at its December 12, 2023 City Council meeting. On October 17th of 2024, the City Facilities Naming Committee considered renaming West University Street and East University Street, located between South Park Street and South Adelaide Street. On January the 23rd of 2025, the City Facilities Naming Committee unanimously approved to rename to West University, East University between South Park and South Adelaide to Judge James C. Williams Drive. On February the 20th, the committee, by unanimous vote of those present, its recommendation from Judge James C. Williams Drive to Judge J.C. Williams Drive based on street sign constraints. And then I'm happy to say that the Planning and Zoning are making a recommendation with a vote 7-0 unanimously in favor of this renaming. And I will pause for the public hearing and we'll be back for any questions.
All right, thank you. This time, this is a public hearing, so we will open the public hearing to receive comments regarding redesignating West University Street and East University Street between South Park Street and South Adelaide Street as Judge J.C. Williams Drive. Is there anyone to speak on this matter? Hearing none, we will close the public hearing and go to 4.2, discuss and consider ordinance number 3105 of the City of Terrell, Coppin County, Texas, redesignating West University Street and East University Street between South Park Street and South Adelaide Street, as shown on the map attached here to as Exhibit A and made a part hereof for all purposes as Judge J.C. Williams Drive, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Is there anyone who would like to speak to Jana on this matter?
I just was looking at this, and I'm familiar with this organization. In the bio you read, that community group is called Association of Breezy Hill Park, just so the record will show that change.
Thank you for correcting that.
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else?
Are we commenting regarding
Yes.
Judge J.C. Williams as well?
Well, directed toward Jana, if she would come back, please. Yeah. Directed toward John.
I just wanted to say that you mentioned teen court. I was a graduate of Charlotte High School in 1995, and I was on the inaugural teen court that he established here in this room. I used to sit in that far chair there, and he appointed me prosecutor. And he was really, he was very funny, and he would get everybody laughing. But there were several times when I guess I was a little too good at the job, and he had to appoint someone to escort me to my car so I didn't get beat up en route to my car. But it was really good memories with Judge Williams. He was a really funny, great guy.
That's funny, yes. He was a great individual.
Yes, he was.
I would run into him at Walmart, and you didn't have a short conversation with Judge Williams. He would keep you for a little bit, but anyone else?
Same thing here. He was friends to my dad, and I really respected this man. He was such a pillar in the community, an encourager. And the only thing I almost teared up when you were reading some of that is I remember him saying something or asking me about the committee, and I told him it was in place, but we don't know anything. I hadn't heard anything. And I want to thank the committee for bringing this and making this happen after we asked you and tasked you with this. And I kind of got teary because he wanted it. He was
Yes.
so honored, and I don't think of anybody better that deserves it. So I definitely want to say that. He encouraged me. I spent some time with him. He was a man of wisdom, and I thank God that I had an opportunity to know this man.
I totally agree.
So we have a couple of the members of the committee. Would y'all like to come forward and say anything to the council or the mayor?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jessica King. I'm the chairman of the Facilities Naming Committee. I unfortunately did not have the pleasure of meeting Judge Williams. I am still the new girl in Terrell. However, Mr. Lancaster and I had very long conversations when his name was brought up. I heard a lot of stories, and as the executive director of the Terrell Heritage Museum, I was able to capture that, and I am very happy to place this as a recommendation in front of you. Just learning about him, what he's done for this community, and really paving the way for this committee, the museum, the library, just all of the things we offer in general. So I appreciate your time on this, and I also appreciate the request for us to consider it and allow us to learn more about him and bring it to you.
Thank you, Jessica. All right, council, this is a discuss and consider. Is there a motion on ordinance number 3105?
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 3105.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from our Mayor Pro Tem, District 4, Stephanie Helms Thomas, a second from our Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 5, Phil Robinson, to approve ordinance number 3105 as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries for the unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is 4.3, to conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding designating No Name Road between Bethlehem Street and New Hope Street as Urban Pioneer Avenue. This will be handled by Jana Wampler.
Okay, Dawn, would you go to the picture that is attached to the last page of the ordinance? And you'll see, this is the No Name Road. Here, oh, sorry, it's turned, but anyway, it gives you a picture and the placard that is at the graveyard in that location. So here's another one. I didn't know all of this. I knew this graveyard was there, but I didn't know the family history. The small historic cemetery, also called the Irvine Family Cemetery, predates the establishment of Terrell by more than 20 years. The first burial was that of Robert Alexander, nephew of W.D. Irvine, in 1851. Now located within the city limits, the cemetery began on land owned by the pioneer Irvine family. It contains the graves of Irvine family members, their neighbors, and descendants, many of whom were responsible for founding this community. The cemetery also contains several unmarked graves. The last known burial took place here in 1956. The Terrell City Council established a city facilities naming committee to review and consider and make recommendations on the naming of the facilities. And these dates are comparable to what we just had for Judge J.C. Williams Drive. The city's facilities naming committee considered the naming of an unnamed street referenced as No Name Road located between New Hope Street and Bethlehem Street and south of a local cemetery, and received public comments at its October 17, 2024 meeting. On January 23rd of this year, City Facilities Naming Committee meeting approved by unanimous vote of those present a recommendation to City Council to rename No Name Road to Irvine Pioneer Avenue. This was presented to Planning and Zoning on May 27th with a 7-0 vote unanimously in favor of this name change. So I will pause for that public hearing.
All right, this is a public hearing, so at this time, we will open the public hearing to receive comments regarding redesignating No Name Road between Bethlehem Street and New Hope Street as Irvine Pioneer Avenue. Is there anyone here to speak on this matter? Hearing none, we will close the public hearing and go to 4.4, which is discuss and consider ordinance number 3106 of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, naming as shown on the map attached hereto as Exhibit A and made a part hereof for all purposes as Irvine Pioneer Avenue, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Council, does anybody want to hear from Jana on this item? No? Again, Leonard, would you like to come forward, or Jessica, if you'd like to come forward? You don't have to, I'm just asking.
I'll keep coming forward as long as you guys will keep letting me. How about that? So this was actually a really neat one that came up when this was a challenge or charge to the committee. So all of the founders of Terrell, this is a fun fact, have something named in this town except for W.D. Irvine. So we have C.C. Nash, John G. Moore, R.A. Terrell, W.D. Irvine. And so he did not have anything, and being that his family was the founding family of Terrell, especially that area at the time, the committee felt that it was only appropriate to name that road that drives by his family cemetery after his family. So that way he gets the recognition he deserves as well, so.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, again, council, this is ordinance number 3106. Is there a motion?
Motion to, go ahead. Motion to approve ordinance number 3106.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Phil Robinson, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem District 5, a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, Mayor Pro Tem District 4, to approve ordinance number 3106 as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. I want to thank the naming committee for all their hard work in getting that to the council, the mayor and the council. And we look forward to having some more names, right? Thank you. This time, we will move into 7.1, discuss and consider appointment of Mayor Pro Tem and Deputy Mayor Pro Tem. I want to take a moment and just say thank you to Stephanie Holmes Thomas, who has been our Mayor Pro Tem for how many years now? 2.5, 3 years? 1 year? Okay. Seems like 3 years.
Yeah.
Right, with all that we've gone through. But certainly appreciate your input to the mayor and the calls that we had, you know, one-on-one as we moved through some challenging times. But thank you for that. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Phil Robinson, District 5, as Mayor Pro Tem, and Donna Renee Anderson to our Deputy Mayor Pro Tem. So I'll do that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Phil Robinson from District 5 as Mayor Pro Tem, and to appoint District 2 Donna Renee Anderson to our Deputy Mayor Pro Tem. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none,
I
Yes.
just want to say thank you for the opportunity to serve as pro tem. And I know our success people, you guys are going to do a great job, and I'm so happy with the group that we serve with. You work hard for our citizens, for our city, and it does make a difference. Thank you.
I agree, and I'll say Stephanie did a very fine job when she has had to hold down the fort for Mayor Carmona.
Yeah, right. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We now vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is discuss and consider park board appointments, appointments to the airport board. Don?
Yes, Mayor and Council, in your packet is the airport board roster. Harold Wilson has served 3 terms. He is not eligible to be reappointed, so that leaves 1 open position on this board, and it falls under the oversight of Mayor Carmona.
Do we have anybody who is,
We do have 1 application from James Craig in the packet.
all right. Council, I would move to appoint James Craig as a appointment to our airport board. Is there a second?
I second.
I have a second from Donna Renee Anderson to appoint Mr. Craig to the airport board. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries with the vote of the president. Our next item on the agenda is to discuss and consider park board appointments and reappointments. Again, Don?
Yes, Mayor and Council, the park board rosters in the packet. Patty Yocum, Charlotte Mitchell, Savannah Nordstrom, and Dwight Malone, their terms have all expired, and they all do wish to be reappointed. And this falls under the oversight of Mayrani Velasquez.
Councilwoman, is there a motion?
Yes, I'm gonna, after having spoken with all the individuals as late as today, I do have some changes in the upcoming appointments, so I'm going to make a motion to appoint Savannah Nordstrom, Dwight Malone, Brandon Batres, and Kelly Hardman.
Okay. Say those again.
Let me get back to my, appoint Savannah Nordstrom, Dwight Malone, Brandon Batres, and Kelly Hardman.
Okay. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Mayrani Velasquez, District 3, a second from Stephanie Home Thomas, District 4, to appoint Savannah, Dwight, Brandon, and Kelly to the park board. Yes? Is there any further discussion?
Wait, so are those, it's Hardeman, Shirley, Malone, and no,
No. It is Savannah,
Savannah,
Dwight,
Dwight,
Brandon, and Kelly.
it was Brandon.
No,
No.
Kelly Hardman.
Hardman.
Hardeman.
Brandon is not in the packet. He's an appointee of Mayrani.
No, and he did submit his he shared he submitted his
I got
application,
it.
yes.
Yes, I think on Friday evening or on Monday, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, any further discussion?
I trust the councilwoman's vetting of these individuals, so I
Right.
feel comfortable voting
Okay.
in the affirmative.
Anyone else? All those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries now to vote of the president. Our next item on the agenda is 7.4, discuss, consider zoning board of adjustments, appointments, and reappointments. Don?
Mayor and Council, Dr. Kamika Hoskins has served 3 terms on the Zoning Board of Adjustments. She is not eligible to be reappointed, and her term expired in May, and this falls under the oversight of Phil Robinson.
I'd like to motion to postpone appointment for that position on the ZBA.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Phil Robinson, District 5, a second from Stephanie Holmes Thomas, District 4, to postpone item 7.4 until our next meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is 8.1, discuss and consider authorizing the city manager to execute a contract for delinquent municipal court collection services. This item will be considered at a meeting of the City Council of the City of Terrell to be held on Tuesday, June the 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. For the purpose of considering and taking action related to the approval of an agreement with the law firm of Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson, LLP, as special counsel to perform all legal services necessary to collect unpaid fines, fees, and court costs as provided in Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 103.0031, and authorizing the execution of such agreement. Don?
Yes, Mayor and Council, you may recall that we awarded an RFP to Linebarger, Goggins, Blair, Sampson recently. This is, we'll be approving the agreement for fines and collections. And also, if you could include in your motion to authorize the interim city manager to execute the document.
All right, is there any questions for Don? Hearing none,
Oh, I was just going to say, also, we have Maricela Navarro with Linebarger in the audience, if anyone has any questions or would like to say.
anybody have any questions for Linebarger? No?
Okay.
All right, is there a motion on item 8.1?
I make a motion to approve the agreement for fines and fees collection services.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from our Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, and a second from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, District 3, to approve the agreement with law firm of Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson, LLP, as special counsel to perform all legal services necessary to collect unpaid fines, fees, and court costs. Is there any?
Mayor, can we also include authorizing the interim city manager to execute the document?
Absolutely. Getting,
Yes? Oh, I have
Amend it.
to say something.
amend
Yes,
it?
you can.
Okay, I amend my motion to include the interim city manager
To-
to,
execute.
to do it, to authorize it.
Okay. So, the motion has been amended to authorize our assistant city manager, or no, our interim city manager to execute the contract. Any further discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is 8.2, discuss and consider resolution number 2232, adopting the provisions of Article 103.0031 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, imposing a collection fee of 30% to defray the cost of collection of delinquent fines, fees, and costs imposed by the city of Terrell. Don?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this resolution adopts the 30% add-on fee for collections that's provided for in Article 103.0031 Code of Criminal Procedure.
Okay. Is there any questions on this resolution for Don? Hearing none, is there a motion on resolution number 2232?
Motion to approve resolution number 2232 as presented.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second?
We have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, District 3, a second from Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, to approve resolution 2232 as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is discuss and consider contract recommendations for RFQ 25-06, Marketing and Public Relations. This is going to be handled by our Senior Policy Analyst, Amara Mata.
Mayor and Council, good evening. I have some exciting reports for you, probably the most excitement you've had all evening. So we went out, and as you recall, we did a marketing presentation. We went forward and moved that we did a RFQ for qualifications, kind of see who's out there, see what they can provide, see what they can do. So we did release an RFQ on February 18th, and we did have 2 publications. We left it out for a little bit over 45 days to give firms adequate times to kind of review, get their proposal together, submit. And so those were due April 9th. We received 10 total responses, which was a really good turnout. And then the city moved forward looking at the responses, and we had 6 qualified firms. We did have a team of city staff, the evaluation team, that looked over the criteria that we put in that RFQ and looked over it. That team included me, Allison Walker, Raylan Smith, Peyton Wynn, and Amy Mueller. And we went over the criteria, kind of evaluated the top firms, and then we chose our top 3 to interview. The top 3, we did interviews the week after the responses were due of April. And we included those factors, but we also wanted to see what the team can bring forward, kind of how they fit and who we were going to work well with. So we wanted them to work with Allison directly, but we also needed to include some staff, as they were probably going to do some stuff with quality of life. Raylan was going to be involved. We were going to be involved. We were going to involve council. So kind of see what the paper turns into, that personality. So after the interview round, we are happy to bring forward the team recommendation of Brand Era, and we do have Beth and Rhonda with us from Brand Era, which is who we are recommending. In your packet, I did not include the whole thing in the packet because it was pretty lengthy, a lot of good information, but the link is there on the agenda item report, which has all the information to it. But that way you guys can see kind of what they submitted, what we as staff saw, and what we reviewed. And yeah, I'm happy to bring this forward and kind of see, just to give you guys a little bit of background. We are looking, since this is something new, we're going to try to figure out as a team what we need, what we're moving forward, what we need as far as the city, as far as our marketing purposes, what really is our goal here. And so a couple of those things would include researching, kind of having a website analysis, having them kind of look at our website, seeing what we need, what we're missing, from a viewer's point, kind of some community outreach, and then also get them involved in some advertising, for example, with the upcoming Terrell Citizens Academy. So those are a few things. And then we also have some deliverables that were included in the RFQ, as an example, such as just marketing for new homes, city podcasts, getting some connections, little things like that. So we're gonna kind of learn together, grow together, and kind of see what that brings. So I don't know if y'all have any questions for me. I know Beth is here as well, and she's happy. I'll let her say a few words if y'all would like to hear from her.
You want to hear from Beth and Rhonda?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
If y'all want to come up.
So as you come forward, thank you for working with our staff and getting to this point. I've always wondered about Terrell's identity and who we are and what we are. Are we going to be working on that together to try to nail that down?
Not only are we going to be working on that, we're going to kind of lift that up and like tell the good story and spread the good news. We had the pleasure of coming here before we actually did our presentation. Came on that Saturday that you guys had your taco festival, and was just delighted at what I saw and what I experienced. And I actually met Amira, didn't realize it. I mean, I knew who she was. She didn't know who I was. I got to spin the wheel and win a keychain.
Yeah.
And got to visit with community members, because I'm one of those people who talks at the gas pump and in the elevator, and you know, when you're parking your car. So I was like, oh, where do I want to go eat, or what's good around here? And so I met several different community members, and I can tell you that this is a really friendly town. And we're very excited to take the best of who and what you are and tell your story in meaningful and intentional ways, and figure out what are the things that you all want to get done. And then we'll craft a plan that is customized to just who and what you all are all about. So it's our distinct pleasure to earn your business and to work really hard on your behalf.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
I have so I Well, I want to thank city staff and those that worked. We have a couple of staff that, in the room that worked, were part of the review team. And you may hear, I had to put my points right in beforehand to stay succinct as possible. And if you hear frustration, it's frustration in where we were in the past. And really looking forward. I was really glad that we went through the RFP process to find a firm that can help meet the needs. So thank you, Beth and Rhonda, for being here today. And in my statement, I'll have like the key points followed by a question or two, and then I'll allow like city staff and Rhonda and Beth to kind of take those questions. So thank you for the branding and the marketing proposal, the proposed printed materials, the podcast and social media posts that were in the proposal look great, and I think it will help us to more clearly communicate with residents and community at large. I'm going to ask for support from City Council and our city manager, interim city manager, on making sure that the contract also covers basic day-to-day communication that helps residents understand and engage with city services. While I agree that branding is important, I think many people in our community still don't know the basics, like how to report an issue, trash service, pickup, road closures, or, even like how many parks we have in our community. And so I'm going to suggest that in this contract, we include regular updates, regular updates on like traffic changes, road closures, trash bulk service changes, clear information on how to submit service requests or access city support, spotlights on city services and amenities, like I mentioned, our parks, programs, public transportation options, and then also including a council meeting recap or monthly summary to help residents stay informed about decisions being made. Being made. And then over time, I've learned as well that the importance of meeting community members where they are, and in the languages that they speak, like English and Spanish in the city of Terrell. And so, when I look at like printed materials that in our community, what I have found helpful is that the newsletters, like the posters, word of mouth, and community group are key communication spaces for our community members, and I want to make sure that we meet them where they are. So really, yes, all the big stuff that y'all are proposing, I think, is great. And I don't know if maybe I should have done a better job in communicating for the RFP that I really also want this contract to focus on helping rebuild what maybe some community members may see as like a lack of transparency from the city, both council and city services, programs, communication. Because I feel like that for the last couple of years has been a pain point in our community. And I'm just glad that we're where we're at today and making sure that we bring that forward. And I want to confirm that, Terrell ISD is an existing client, and I'd love to hear like who are like those star people that you want to look for in like the focus group that you plan to have as part of the contract. I would love to see the online survey in English and Spanish, and then you can count on me as an ambassador as well for the ambassador program that you're proposing.
Fantastic. Well, we have, I know we'll be working with staff to kind of onboard and have the opportunity to spend more time with you and understand what the priorities are from a council perspective, but then also address staff needs. And then we'll, as RFPs, it's really kind of a platform for you all to judge a variety of agencies. Then we really have to dig in and learn the specifics of what are the real issues, the here and the now, and then take that kind of base of knowledge and the expertise that we clearly have demonstrated and then tailor make it. And I mean, we've been in business 21 years, and I've probably done more than 100 RFPs in my professional experience. And there's always kind of projects may be described in one way, and then what we actually need to execute may be something slightly different, because just for the sake of a proposal, you have to define things a certain way. But then once we get into the nitty-gritty, then we figure out like, oh, there's a gap here, or we're identifying a need there. And so then we'll custom tailor a plan. It'll always be for approval, but there's always kind of a learning process that happens up front.
And I want to thank you, because you can go ahead if you hadn't finished.
So Terrell ISD is still an existing
Yeah,
client?
absolutely.
And the reason I asked that, counsel, is because and I'm glad that Amy was, Mueller, who was previously with the EDC, and then Raylan, who works, and Nomira work closely with the EDC as well. And as an EDC board member, one of the strategies in the EDC is to really have a unified voice between the city, the school district, EDC, so we're sending the same message. And so I was glad to see that
Yes,
Terrell ISD is already an existing.
And I'll give you an example of the way Brandera works. We have a policy with clients. Once a client, always a client. And sometimes they travel, and we say, where you go, we go. Dr. Nicole Mansell, who's the Executive Director of Communications at Terrell ISD, was formerly with Dallas ISD. We did work with her there. Then she went to Irving ISD. We did work with her there. And now she's here, and we're continuing to do work with her, although we still maintain relationships with those previous districts. So our job is really to get to know our client representatives and to serve them well, so that we are a trusted resource where they may be. And it's been a delight to get to know about Terrell ISD, your superintendent, the programs that are offered at the schools. You've got a really neat community. We're just, can't wait to dig in. Yeah, please.
Councilmember Velasquez, I want to make sure we answered your question about, did you have a specific question about focus groups?
About like the ideal participant in the focus groups, what the focus group,
Or like who that person looks like?
yes.
You want to jump in on that?
Sure. So typically, focus groups would be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 to 12 at a gathering. So you can interact with everyone, and we would want to have a variety of representation. So people who've been in the community a long time, people who are newer to the community. We'd want to have representation of all ethnicities in the community. We'd be sensitive to language issues, because in most of the ISD and city engagements that we have, we do things in both languages, English and Spanish. Typically, we do first round of translation, and then we work with some representative of the community to make sure that we're kind of on point with dialect or particular nuances. But we would want to have a variety of folks that really represent. And sometimes they have to be handpicked, because there's community members who are underrepresented, who might not normally have a seat at the table, but we want to make sure and go find them and bring them.
Including both longstanding residents as well as newer residents, and sometimes that does correspond to older residents and younger residents, but not always. But Terrell, as a city of growth and momentum, I know, or I should say we know, that you want to keep your, everything that made you special as part of the OG Terrell, so to speak, but that you want to carry that with you as you're moving forward into your next chapters. And so making sure that both those longstanding residents and those newer residents are represented on the committee, I think will be very helpful. And of course, we welcome input as to what not only the makeup of the focus group should look like, but also what types of questions we should be asking as well. And also, while I've got the mic, 2 things, actually 3, we're making mental notes. Beth and I have worked long enough that we can talk to each other without talking. As you were talking and making note of everything that you were saying about the importance of just the mechanics of city communications and making sure that residents are well-informed, not only that they know how to navigate their way through services, but that they're also aware that services exist to help them. And that furthermore, they feel engaged as unofficial ambassadors. The residents of a city are always the city's best ambassador, more than any advertising that you can buy. The other two things I want to add, kind of tagging onto what you said about our excitement. I'm a lifelong North Texas resident and a lifelong Texan, obviously. And spending time in Terrell has been on my to-do list for such a long time. Little did I dream that I would be checking that box by coming to work for y'all one day. But when we drove in for the meeting a few weeks back, I fell in love instantly as soon as I drove into the city, and I said, this is where I feel like I'm supposed to be. And I really didn't even need any help furthering that feeling, but just to make sure that I'm getting appropriately in the mood, I've been watching the Jamie Foxx show every morning while I'm getting ready. And then one last item, Councilmember Deputy Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem. Just an FYI, I'm Rhonda Renee. I see that you're Donna Renee, so high five on the show.
Yes.
Thank you both for answering my questions.
I wanted to just comment and say, I think you gave us a little of that. I was wanting to make sure that what you do, you know that it's very important, especially as it relates to public relations. And you said you're going to be working with staff as well, so I'm excited about that. But I always want to keep the citizens, our community members at the center. They're our center focus, and I think you guys talked about that. Different age groups, different ethnicities, different educational levels, socioeconomic levels. That's important. That's who we are. We're diverse. You can look at us as a council. So I went to my first conference as a new council member, and I never forgot that. And there was a presentation, and this gentleman said, take care of the locals. When I get phone calls from people I don't know, my question is, who gave you my number? And sometimes I smile when they tell me, and sometimes I sigh. But that's the best word of mouth. Take care of our locals. When we take care of our locals, they help us build a great city like Terrell.
Thank you.
Couple things. Thank you guys so much. You both have great energy. I'm looking forward to working with you. What about Terrell made it feel like home to you immediately? What did you see when you drove into town? What was that vibe? Just curious.
You know, that's a hard question to answer, and at the risk of getting overly philosophical in the middle of a city council meeting, a few years back, I wrote an essay that centered around the subject of the quality that a person, place, or thing sometimes, but usually a person or place has that makes them magical to you. And the long and short of it is I said, I don't think you can really say what makes a person or a place magical to you. There are some cities that as soon as I'm there, I just connect with the energy. And I can't really say why, and that was the feeling I got when I drove into Terrell. So that's my philosophical answer. My more specific answer is the charm of your Main Street. I'm a history lover, and even without knowing that much about Terrell, I could just sense that a lot of historical energy in the air. And then, of course, I'd done a little research and learned about the museum and some of your longstanding, businesses and destinations, and a lot of other aspects of your history that are quite intriguing. And so all of that really spoke to me. And then when we arrived here at City Hall, we were immediately impressed, first of all, by the efficiency with which everything was being handled. We have gone through a number of RFP procedures that have been very long, very protracted. and some things were not always communicated very well. That was the complete opposite of
That's great.
the experience that we had here, and also have had a sense that's being reinforced as we're here tonight of, a very engaged leadership team and engaged officials who have, how would you say it, Beth, like, you really know what's going on in your community, and I'm not surprised to hear that you get calls from people they're being referred to you by other citizens. Terrell has a lot to offer, and I think y'all have probably flown under the radar for a while. And in a way, that's a good thing, but it's a matter of striking that balance of not getting, so famous that you lose some of what makes you Terrell, but letting more people know about how wonderful it is here so that you can continue to attract new residents, create an even greater experience for the ones who are already here, and then, of course, the economic development and tourism component as well.
Good, because I think those are some of the things that, we see as our identity, is our history, our close-knit community, family, diversity. I think those are pretty key elements to who we are. One thing I think we don't do well in our public relations currently is celebrating our wins. I think a lot of times we have a lot of, there's some negativity that pervades a lot of things in our community because, maybe we do some really big leaps, do some good things, but we don't do a good job of saying, look at this great thing we've done, and celebrating those wins. And also, I think to piggyback on what Councilman Velasquez had to say, I think there has been to date a lack of some transparency, and not due to any sort of corruption, or it's just a matter of just not having maybe the means or understanding of how to communicate with our citizenry very well. And I think in the absence of information, rumors tend to flourish, and kind of things just don't really, given that negativity starts to flourish. So I would love to see us kind of attack that and develop a plan to combat that. But yeah, I think that it'd be important for us to make people aware of our city services and how to access them a little better. And I'm looking forward to understanding your social media strategy. I do a lot of social media myself to kind of fill in the gaps of kind of where I think that we're not communicating enough, or helping the citizens understand what's at stake or what decisions are going to be made. Have you guys played a role in that historically, sort of informing citizens of kind of what might be coming up with regard to decisions made about their city and how to get plugged into that and involved? What's your sort of methodology for doing that, and do you employ some polling ever?
I'll address some of them. So in terms of use of social media, so it can be, we write social media content on behalf of a number of clients, including city accounts. Sometimes we use techniques of like, did you know? So like some FYIs, kind of a softball kind of toss of like, hey, these things are going on and maybe you don't know it, but we're going to bring you along and tell you about the process, or, what's happening in the community. Video content is super powerful. Not everyone is going to take the time to read like a really lengthy, chunky post, but, we understand that we are in an entertainment world. And so we're going to pair posts with video content. We're also going to make things really approachable. There's power in developing brand, city ambassadors, a close-knit group of people that can be tapped as volunteers, who can be extenders of messaging that we prepare, that's vetted. And, again, to use them to, carry the word forward. So those are some of the techniques that we use. It's understanding like where that gap is, sometimes doing a focus group to understand what's your baseline, feeling about this or that, and to get people to tell, like, oh, we didn't know this was going on. In fact, as I was driving out here today, we've just been hired by Arlington Housing Authority to do a focus group for them, because there's some gaps in understanding, and they want to do a better job of making the agency approachable and really delivering on the promise. So all of those things certainly do fall under kind of our umbrella. It's just understanding the priorities and what are, what's the hottest thing that we need to jump into first. I think having platforms in a number of places social media content, maybe it's an e-blast, maybe there's some, I don't know, conversations. We've even done events where it's like, morning with the mayor or some kind of, conversation over a meal. When you break bread and you get to know your neighbors a little bit better, you can talk about difficult things and assess where they are and where you are. So there's all kinds of things that we can work out as a plan for you all that will be tailor-made and work for you.
Including borrowing best practices. We believe in studying what other municipalities and other public sector entities are doing with social media and citizen or constituent communications, and replicating those best practices with y'all.
And we might want to spend more time with you all to understand, like, okay, where do each of you think the gap is? What's something that you're like, oh, I'm really proud about this that we're doing right now, but man, I wish we had a little more oversight or horsepower, because what I do recognize is you guys are a lean, mean fight machine. Like, we came for our RFP visit, we had seen the deliverable of Taco Fest. We had seen the number of people who had been through the community. I had noted how beautiful the downtown corridor was with the beautiful planters, and that stuff just doesn't happen by magic. Somebody's doing a lot of hard work. And so there's gonna be places where you're gonna need us to lean into, and we just, we need people to tell us kind of where those gaps are, and then we can investigate it and figure out a game plan.
Gotcha. So not to belabor it, I have two more quick questions here. So one is, I often get asked, because a lot of times we're trying to kind of get a pulse for where people stand on a given issue, because to sort of direct my efforts and carry out the will of our citizens, I need to understand kind of how are they feeling about things. What are some methods you've used? This is kind of both my questions in one. What are some methods that you've used in the past to be able to kind of get a handle on what the general consensus is about a topic? And two, how do you access people who aren't on social media? Because we have a large kind of older population in Terrell that maybe aren't as plugged into social media. How do you access them and kind of communicate to those folks?
So community engagement with your kind of seniors who might not be as comfortable, they're not, although I will say there's a lot of grandparents who are serious about following their grandchildren on social media. But I do think there's opportunities leveraging church. Faith-based organizations are a great access point to community members. And oftentimes I would say that having a conversation over a meal, you can really learn a lot about a lot of a community and what is on their hearts. So that would be one tactic that we might think about. We'd also vary the platforms. I mean, you're going to have a senior group that reads the printed word. So I'd want to know what the Terrell Tribune is running, or could we put some content in there on behalf of the community, that kind of thing. Because I think there will be opportunities to reach people based on their reading and communication preferences. So we'll tailor make it.
Town halls and coffees, those types of events, where you can, not necessarily, you're not having a one-on-one conversation, but it's a much more intimate conversation than trying to follow a social media thread. Plus, you can also bring in those people who aren't active on social, as you were mentioning earlier. We've seen those be effective in with a lot of public sectors that we've either worked for or that we've just observed being citizens ourselves in our own communities. I think that the key to making those successful is to make sure that everybody's been invited, rather than just putting out just a general notice and hoping people will come, that you actually pick up the phone or make some, send some emails and make sure that everybody knows that they're wanted, their input is welcome, not only welcome, but wanted. And another key element, I think, in this is engaging community partners to your nonprofit organizations, and then also your informal community partners, your diner and your coffee shop, where people are hanging out and talking to each other and discussing their, what's going on in their community. a tactic for community engagement, we don't believe has to be fancy or agency-ish in order to be effective. In fact, sometimes it's better if it's not.
I could also see us leveraging Terrell Alumni Association. I understand that maybe all of you graduated from Terrell ISD. No, almost. Okay. So, I mean, we would be looking at that. We would be looking at church groups. We would be looking at, there might be a retired group in the community. I mean, we would tap those different organizations in order to have conversations.
And I'm glad, Phil, you asked the question, because one of the competitors for this bid stated that they typically host like a community-wide town hall, like a kickoff on, hey, this is our goal, to communicate more, to, rebrand, to highlight the successes that we already have in the community, and then they follow those with like additional communications or mini town halls to bring them along the work, and that's part of like that ambassador type of program. And I think for what I agree I found has worked are those like more of mini town halls. I can't recall, I think the last time we did more of a town hall type of event was really more around like the strategic plan, which is, different. 'Cause, Thank you.
Hello. I would like to ask a question. I'm Rebecca House. I'm happy to be here, and I'm the non-Terrell ISD graduate. Hello. Do you, or have you utilized the public libraries in the communities that you've worked in? And if so, how did you do that? I'm the library director. Yeah,
Yep, we've
Library nerd.
yes.
And proud of it. In fact, I'm about to join the board for the Dallas Public Library here in just a few weeks. I was on Libby 3 times today.
Yay.
And now I've forgotten your question because I just started
Like,
thinking about
have we used
libraries.
libraries?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
We've-
absolutely, yes.
We've used them for focus groups before. We've actually done intercept interviews in libraries before, so as people were coming in to get a book or, come for a meeting or whatnot, like, in one community, we were like, oh, we're from Brandera, and we're here to talk about XYZ, and we're interested in your thoughts on, And so as people were coming in, because then we were getting a beautiful cross-section of the community.
We have our adult education program, ESL classes right now. We have students that speak 27 different languages
Oh, mercy.
in this community. We also, yeah, it's exciting. But we have a lot of our senior residents come in, some that are social media users and some that are not social media users. But we also see a lot of new families, a lot of the new faces that are moving in, young families also, that have opinions and they would like to get involved, so.
Yeah, I'm liking your intercept idea. Offer them something, they can get a branded mug, a free something in exchange for answering these 5 quick questions, and
Everybody
Great way to
likes
get
free
input,
stuff, yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you all very much. Everybody good?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So this is a discuss and consider item, resolution, no, it's a contract for the RFQ on marketing and public relations. Does someone have a motion on 8.3?
Motion to approve our interim city manager
Yes.
Yes, sir.
to enter into an agreement with Brandera for marketing and public relations services.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from our Mayor Pro Tem, Phil Robinson, District 5, a second from our Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, Donna Renee Anderson from District 2, to approve the contract recommendations for the RFQ on marketing and public relations. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous vote of the president. Our next item on the agenda are consent agenda items. Council, we may take these all at once. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Can we pull 9.1, because I want to make sure that something is obvious.
Okay. Let's do 9.1. That is the discuss and consider approval of the minutes of the regular city council meeting of May the 13th of 2025.
Yes, I just reviewed it. I just want to make sure, I don't know if that needs to be documented, that I abstained and the reason why, being on the board and being very involved in the Association of Breezy Park. I don't want it to be negatively interpreted that I didn't vote because of some other reason. I don't know if that needs to be stated.
But you did say it. I remember
I
you saying
said it, but it's not documented here.
And the record will reflect that,
Does it? Where is
Yes.
that? Did I miss it?
we'll add that.
Oh, please
Yeah, we
do.
will-
It
we
just
will add
makes me- And I don't want anything to be like a conflict of interest that would slow the process of what those committees did.
If we would, so on item 9.1, we would approve it with the recommendation that we make the change for our Mayor Pro Tem at the time, Stephanie Holmes Thomas.
Yeah.
Yes?
Thank you.
So there's a motion to approve the minutes with that change?
I make a motion that we approve the
The minutes?
do I have to speak to 9.1, or can I?
You can.
I make a motion that we approve the regular city council minutes from May 13, 2025, with the change that Mayor Pro Tem Stephanie Holmes Thomas made, that she abstained because she was sat on the board of the Association of Breezy Hill.
I have a motion, is there a second? We have a motion from our Deputy Mayor Pro Tem, District 2, Donna Renee Anderson, a second from Phil Robinson, our Mayor Pro Tem, District 5, to approve the minutes with the recommended changes. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, vote of those present. Our next consent agendas will be 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5. Is there a motion on the rest of the agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the rest of the consent agenda.
Have a motion to approve the rest of the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion from our Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Donna Renee Anderson, District 2, a second from Phil Robinson, our Mayor Pro Tem from District 5, to approve the remainder of the consent agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously, vote of those present. We are now, do I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, 10, information reports, sorry. We have information reports for Coppin County Transportation Project reports, our Police Department monthly reports, our Fire Department monthly reports, and our Housing monthly report. I would ask that the council reach out to those departments and get any information that you so need. Is there any further discussion on anything?
I wanted to say that I want to let those departments know, Chief Sansom, Chief LaCroix, and Denise, that I did read those reports, and I've noticed that it seems our citizens are in distress. So whatever our first responders are doing, they're helping, but the numbers show that we are in distress.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
We're done. I just want